Joe Kennedy is running against Ed Markey for a U.S. Senate seat in Massachusetts. Now, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I do believe that these Kennedys are made in a lab somewhere. Kennedy's the grandson of RFK and the grandnephew of former President JFK. Kennedy name is like, American royalty. I mean, it's like a Bush or a Clinton in that they're political dynasties. So, the question is, what's he running on? The answer is absolutely nothing. He's like the perfect example of a corporate Democrat who really has nothing specific they're fighting for and nothing poignant to say. And so he ends up releasing stuff like this.
My family's come up an awful lot in this campaign. I want to take a moment to tell you what they taught me. Taught me that leadership isn't about power. It's about humanity. It's about the messy stuff, the hope and the hurt, the common currency we share in a world that gives and takes far too much, far too often. You want to know about my family? Ask me about them, because their legacy is my lesson.
The sad thing is, you and I know damn well he practiced that in front of the mirror repeatedly, and he still managed to mess it up, and he still managed to sound insufferable. Guys, it's no longer 1992. Listen, you can't... If you're a corporate Democrat, you got to update your operating system. Because this is like you're running a campaign from 1992. That's what that is. And it's the clearest thing I've ever seen. Like... The era of the platitude and the cliche is over. It is over. They keep running as if, like, the Trump campaign never happened. Here you have this guy who came along and broke every single political rule, and he won. What does that tell you? The political rules are garbage. They're not true. They're not real. Somebody needs to make a, corporate Democrat platitude word generator. They have one for Mayor Pete, but I used it. Honestly, it's not that good. Like I was hoping for better. But it's who can say the most words without actually saying anything. So, I mean, go back and watch the Kennedy thing again if you want, but like nobody knows what he was saying there. Not a single person knows what he was saying because he wasn't really saying anything. He was trying to sound flowery and hear the sound of his own voice and hope that you watch and go, yes, that's a leader! Yes, he looks like a Kennedy, yes. We need to have a contest, some sort of competition, as to who can out corporate Democrats speak everybody. So here, I'll get it kicked off. You got to point like this, because this is how shitty politicians point. They have their hand motions that they do. Oh, he's doing the point. He's doing the... But you could do that one or the thumb point. And you say, the hope of our values will unify our diversity. Commitment to gratitude is the leadership of our time. Patriotism and common purpose will secure everyday people. I mean, you're not saying anything. And this is why, I've tried to teach you guys about what I call the weasel words, because they never say anything substantive, but when they try to maybe barely dip their toe in that water, you'll hear the weasel words. So they'll say stuff like, what we need is more affordable access to healthcare. You should, sirens going off in your head if you hear that. It's red flags all over the place. Why? Because if they're saying affordable and access to healthcare, what that means is not free, universal, as in paid for by tax dollars. So not single payer, not universal healthcare, not catching up to the rest of the developed world. That means like ever so slightly expand Obamacare. But affordable means you're still going to have to pay, and it's going to come out of pocket. You could still theoretically go bankrupt and improve access. Everybody already has access to healthcare. Access is not the freaking problem. It's that not everybody's covered, and a lot of people have medical bankruptcies. So this is why we're so insistent. Like, they need to say Medicare for all or single payer. Like, you need to say that. Anything else is just trying to put lipstick on a pig. And you'll hear it a lot from people like Joe Kennedy and every other corporate Democrat. You're going to hear it. You're going to hear these weasel words. You're going to hear like 80% of what he say is stuff like this. 80% of what he says. It's going to be bland. It almost sounds like, corporate training speak. It's going to be that. And then the 20% of the time he does bring up policy, you'll hear 1,000 weasel words, which will let you know, oh, he's not actually for the things that I'm in favor of. So I'm trying to equip you guys with the tools to understand when a politician is BSing you and to demand better. Get them on the record for the specific policies. So yeah, anyway, Kennedy's running against Ed Markey. Ed Markey, I'm sure I have a bunch of disagreements with him, but there's also no question that Ed Markey is significantly to the left of Kennedy. And I hate dynasty politics. I hate this like fake American royalty thing, whether it's the Clintons or the Bushes or the Kennedys. And Markey released a good ad where at the end of the ad, he flips the famous JFK quote on its head. And I tweeted this once before, like years ago. Because yeah, the famous quote is, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. And I remember years ago, I was talking about that and I was like, but wait a second, we pay taxes. So yes, the government actually should be doing stuff for us. So I am going to ask what my government can do for me. Or else what am I doing? Paying taxes so that they could rob me and run away with the money? No, I'm paying taxes so that they provide public goods and services. So of course I want the government to do stuff for me. Markey made a similar point. He flipped that quote on its head at the end of his ad where he was like, it is time to ask what our government can do for us. Damn right. And by the way, he's one of the people leading the way on the Green New Deal. That's apparently an issue that he actually cares a lot about. So, yeah, he may have problems, but he's way better than Kennedy. It's not even close. So if you're in Massachusetts, do whatever you got to do, because I don't know how much longer I can take the platitude garbage, the hope of our values. We'll unify our diversity of commitment to gratitude with common purpose and patriotism. That doesn't mean anything.